Hello, my name is Dr. Mary Ramsey, and Mindy, I would like to thank you for asking me to contribute a video to your virtual camp for Girl Scouts and encouraging young girls and women entry into STEM fields, which I think is awesome. As I said, my name is Mary Ramsey. I am the RE of the Fish Behavior Stream here at the University of Texas at Austin. And in our stream, we investigate all kinds of different aspects of animal behavior using little fish as our model system. These fish is a family of fish called Pisciliids, which sounds very fancy, but actually they're fish that you're familiar with. For example, guppies are a very famous Pisciliid species. We use these fish to run behavior experiments to ask questions about all kinds of different aspects of behavior. For example, we can use our fish to ask questions about social decision making. Why would an individual want to go spend time with other fish in a group, or why might it want to not spend time with a group? We could ask questions about mate choice. Who am I going to mate with? Or ask questions about our fish and say what makes them anxious, what are their anxiety levels like, or are they instead bold and active and exploratory? We also can ask questions about cognition because actually, believe it or not, even little tiny fish can learn and learn from experiences and change their behaviors based on their learned experiences. So in my stream, we actually take fish tanks and we build all kinds of different environments where we can test different kinds of cognition or learning. For example, we can build mazes and send our fish through mazes and see how well they do, or we can put our fish in a tank where they have to solve a problem in order to get to something or somewhere that they want to go, all kinds of different things. So that is what my stream does. I guess the answer to that is I've always really liked animals a lot, and I think they're really cool. And I was really interested in knowing how and why animals do the things that they do. How do things work the way that they work? Why do we have, how do our eyes work? Why is it that we can see something and then somewhere in our brain process it and act on that information? Why is it that, insects or any kind of animals why do they know, for example, what danger is or what a predator is? Do they have to learn it, or is it just an instinct? How do animals make decisions? Why would you make a decision to spend time with other individuals or maybe hide from other individuals? I think all of those questions are just really interesting and worth pursuing. And I feel really lucky that I have been able to actually make this my job to do so. I actually took a little bit of a circuitous path into science. I was actually a liberal arts major in college. I graduated with a degree in history, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do when I graduated. I thought about maybe going to law school or maybe being a journalist, or I just didn't really know. So I spent a few years working in bookstores and working in restaurants and traveling around and just sort of living a little while before I sort of settled into what I was going to do. But after thinking about it, I realized how much I loved animals and the natural world and how curious I was to learn how and why things work the way that they do. So that's kind of what led me there. Well, one of the big ones is because I got a late start. And because I had graduated with a liberal arts degree, I wasn't really ready to go to grad school in science. So one thing I had to do was come back and take some like science and math classes, which as an adult, it's a little difficult to learn those things, but I did it. And so that's definitely one obstacle. Another obstacle that can happen also is that it's expensive to pursue graduate careers. And even if you're being paid as a grad student, it's not necessarily easy to do, but it's definitely worthwhile. I think first and foremost, my biggest piece of advice is to believe in yourself. If you're interested in science, you are worthy of being in science. I think a lot of times students, particularly women, get intimidated. They're afraid to ask questions in class or make comments. And getting over that sort of fear and being free to ask questions and being free to make comments is a really important skill to learn in all fields, but I think particularly in STEM. Um, a lot of times, again, we feel like everybody else knows the answer to these questions. Mine has to be dumb. And that, I've learned over the years, is not true. Your question is not dumb. Please ask it. I think my last piece of advice then for young girls getting into STEM is do your math homework. Don't be afraid of math. It's cool. And girls can do math just as well as boys. Otherwise, come and be in STEM. Thanks.